big home run project.
All please stand and join us in prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome to this regular meeting of Pipestone County Commissioners, November 14th, 9:00. Serving today, we've got Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Dudley, Commissioner Shawsky, Commissioner Chris, myself, Dan. Also serving as our county administrator, Steve Meeting, and today we also have our county attorney, Steve Travis. You all got a copy of the agenda that was posted, and all the reports back over as well too. Are there any adjustment changes to the agenda direction?
Mr. Chairman, have a couple on the consent agenda, please. Under auditors warrants, we have auditors warrants dated 10/25 of 23. And of course, the 10/27 and 11/3 are listed. And also we have auditors warrants for 11/9 of 23 under auditors warrants. Item 3, commissioners warrants. We have add-on warrants this morning of $4,994.70, $49.94.70. Under other business, I will be taking care of the personnel items today. Kathy is home with an ill child this morning and will be unable to be here. And Mr. Chairman, those are my changes this morning. Okay.
Aye. With that agenda, we also have the consent agenda, which is probably minutes of 10/24, and the auditor warrants of 10/27, 11/4 added in of 10/25 and 11/9. That we have the financial warrant amount of $4,054.70. Hospital warrants of $529,137.07. Treasurer's report. Thank you. Then we by Doug, question discussion. Hearing all in favor? Aye. Okay, very good. At this point, then we invite Stacy Burgess about the health services. This is talk about these health reports. Thank you, Stacy.
Stacey Jorgensen, adult health and substance use disorder supervisor on the Southwest Health and Human Services. But today I'm going to talk to you about a whole different entity, the 18 County Joint Powers Agreement for the Southwestern Minnesota Adult Mental Health Consortium, which thank you very much for approving the request from that entity that will help to bridge the gap between the money we spend and the payment from the Department of Human Services. A little bit about Southwestern Minnesota Adult Mental Health Consortium. It is we just call it South at this point. It is an adult mental health initiative. It is a funding source that was built out of the closing of the Lone Regional Treatment Center, Fergus Falls Regional Treatment Center, and one other regional treatment center. We currently only have 2 left in the state, St. Peter and Anoka Metro Regional Treatment Center. The rest closed, and that money was then sent out through these adult mental health initiatives. So what that funds is all the mental health services that you see out in your communities at this point. Right now, it's funding some services through Western Mental Health Center. It's funding some services through Southwest Mental Health Center. It's funding services through Woodlands Mental Health Center and other contract areas throughout the state. We have hired some housing specialists to help with housing issues, which is huge within our state, those problems and concerns, trying to get everybody on board. We also, some of the funds go out to the counties, which Pipestone is one of them. in regards to some flex funding that will be looking for our clients for things that are not handled by medical assistants or clothing for a person who doesn't have any, or maybe has either reduced in size or increased in size, doesn't have the money to pay for a coat for winter. It could be anything from helping a person get viable tires on their car to get them to the appointment so they don't have to use the limited transportation resources we currently have. It could be any of those types of things, and it might be medications and things like that. So happy to give those funds. It also pays for supportive employment, all kinds of other things. There are a couple questions. Right now, I've seen Lincoln County and Lyon County, and now Pipestone County. I have 3 counties left to talk with. And so, and I know there's some other counties that are being seen by Kimberly Holmes, who is our director of the consortium. And I do know there is some counties are reserved about what this is. And so we're working with them to create that or figure out how to work around that. We currently do not know how the interest will be distributed. We're trying to work on that also. First of all, it's probably going to go into something similar or like a magic fund. There will be interest. That money will come back to this agency, to this county, if the consortium ever dissolves in any way, shape, or form. That money and the interest will come back so that's something just to be very aware of. Some counties are interested in getting the interest back monthly or yearly. Some counties are interested in leaving that in and just growing that fund. We do have it set up and are sure that whenever that fund is used, it will be replenished. And it will not go away. This is a one-time request. And this will just help us with the gap each year so that we can ensure that we get the grant fully spent. Otherwise, we'd have to always leave grants on money on the table. And, you know, every little bit helps and pays for bills. And the budget is built on the full grant, use of the full grant. We really don't want to leave our providers when they're for a month, 2 months, 3 months, until we can get DHS to pay us for the funds we've spent.
Basically, we understand that for the public, it's why we do this area doesn't do anything.
So basically, we have to pay for the funds up front, or we have to pay for the bills up front, then we get reimbursed from the state. If in this particular year, we're going to use our funds up, we're not going to have any funds for January and February for sure of 2024. One of the reasons is because in the first part of the year, we didn't have as much spending as we thought we were going to have due to people being on medical assistance or being mostly insured. And a lot of these funds get used for non-insured people or underinsured folks for the services that we have in our community. That created a delay in payment, plus we only got paid for what was spent the first half of the year. So now the second half of the year, we're spending, we're seeing more people coming off of medical assistance, even though they say they're going to put people back on, which is very confusing, but we've had a lot more spending. And at the end of the day, so now we're going to use up all the funds that we received. But now those funds are not going to get replenished until 2024. It's a 2-year grant. Right now we get paid, or our grant is $2,229,000 each year for a 2-year grant. We're in this is the first year of the grant, and then the second year of the grant, which is 2024. We'll also experience a gap at that time because we have to use up all of our funds by the end of the year. By December 31st, we have to have everything spent. Otherwise, we don't get paid for those funds and we lose part of the grant. So,
And also the state regulations don't allow us to carry the balance forward. So we
Correct.
have all of my has to be spent by the end of that period.
that's the request for the reserve fund, the magic fund, the special reserve fund. We're asking each of our joint powers, to be part of. I would say that, we do have a couple of hurdles that we have since found. The joint powers was created in 2000 and 2001. It was created in 2000, some signed in 2000, some signed in 2001. And what we're finding at this point is, somehow in the development, Lincoln, Lyon, Murray actually signed as one. So we have a little bit of a hurdle there to overcome with the joint powers. So that being said, they're asking for an upgrade in our joint powers agreement. So you may be seeing come back, hopefully we can really, to update that. There is legal precedent created by Mr. O'Leary, the county attorney at that time, and I believe that there's a legal precedent with that. But now Lincoln, Lyon, and Murray are requesting that that joint powers be looked at and changed, and so that they have each a signature on that document, as it was signed as one signature for all three of those funds. So that is a little glitch that you did not know about last time. But I am hoping that in that it will create an opportunity for us to actually go through the joint powers agreement again, make sure that everything is still valid to this current date, and that we can get that out to you. The other thing that I noticed with just talking to Lincoln and Lyon boards is that I have been remiss in getting out to you all and updating you each year about the consortium. And I want to rectify that over the next year, and getting back out to you on a regular basis and just telling you what's going on and how things are proceeding and how your funds are being used. Because at the end of the day, these funds are distributed to all 18 counties to support the services that each county has. So.
Leave the rest of the
Well, we have not come to a final decision on that. One of the things brought forward, which may seem may work, without losing any of our 18 counties, if they so choose not to contribute, would be when the original funding is spent and we have to use the gap funding, would be that county would have to pay for their own services during that gap time. So that would be one way of doing it that would not totally, yeah. So that's one option that we've been discussing. Again, the board has not voted on that, and it needs to be a board vote along with the interest discussion. So,
Steve, refresh my memory, I believe the way that we ordered our motion last time was contingent on a couple of those things.
The minutes reported that Southwest 18 Mental Health Consortium Joint Powers relies on grants for their programs, and due to the timing of grant reimbursements, they need some contingency funding to carry their balances through the grant reimbursement funding. Chairman Wildermuth stated that Southwest 18 Mental Health Consortium is requesting $20,000 from each of the 18 member counties to create a reserve fund. The money is still attached to each county, so if the consortium ever dissolved, each county will get their money back. Motion by Wildermuth, second by Nagel, to approve the Southwest 18 JPA funding request of $20,000. Motion carried unanimously.
on that process.
Yeah.
And I appreciate back to you and say, okay, thank you. Great. Here's our next steps. Especially with the three counties wanting some additional assurances through updated JPA. Maybe come to you again.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, especially Commissioner Wilkins for being on our consortium team. It's great because we don't necessarily have that across the board, and it's important to develop that, make sure that we've got representation from all 6 of our counties. But thank you, Commissioner Wilkins, for being there and being a very active part with great questions. Really appreciate it. So, thank you.
Thanks, Stacy.
Okay, are you ready for your road and bridge?
Morning.
Today of the project updates. First update I have would be the 2023 gravel crushing. We have received final paperwork, so I'll be asking for board action to approve the final payment coming up a little later. No, I don't have anything else to add, but I just what's on there. I listed the original contract amount and the final amount and the final payment amount. And then I would also like permission to pay that as a next up is
Mind of its own.
next up is page 2, our 2023 box culvert 1, 2, and contract 1, 2, and 3 are all complete. And then the last page, bridge 59 520, that's the one with cap failure. We're working on plans for that. We're working on plans for various overlays in 24, and then Steve Holland has a utility project coming up. We've been working with their consultant on that. Last item would be at the top of that.
So I do update on the, so are you gonna have both the bridge or what was?
We got one restrictive, but it's just enough for we can still plow it. That's what we wanted. Okay, then last item will be at the top of that page, be the Stone Arch Bridge rehab project. That's why the meeting is here today. We got through the bid review process finally. It required, read off my summary of that. Specifications required bidders provide 3 examples of similar work. Restoration and Construction Services LLC, there was a little bidder. They provided 2 examples of retaining wall, 1 rehab of cast in place concrete with neighbors. None of those projects seem similar in character to rehab of our Stone Arch Bridge project. I say that because they're all historic, but none of them were actual bridges. They included masonry, but not overhead work. And none of their examples address the process of dismantling, salvaging, and rebuilding stone masonry. Second bidder of Environmental Associates Incorporated. They provided two Stone Arch bridge rehab. Third was the scenic overlook and other stone structure work on Wayside Rest. Both projects were similar in character to our rehab project. I say that because 2 of them are historic bridges. They all included stone or masonry repointing and overhead work. And, they discussed the process of dismantling, salvaging, and rebuilding stone masonry. After those After that request for those three examples, I then responded to both bidders and asked for their examples of the most recent work they've done for the most similar in character, preservation, and restoration activities associated with our school rec bridge project. The low bidder did not submit any additional examples, but noted that they will be bidding on another storage bridge in Minneapolis. That's potential future work. That's not completed work. Going to have the experience. And, the second bidder provided another example of a historic bridge. They did some waterproofing and stream diversion, which we don't need on this project. And, that extra project is submitted was similar in size and character. We got our project. So I talked with the main about this, and I don't feel that they meet, just a low bidder meets the definition of a responsible contractor. That's a legal term. I'm not saying it was bad work. It's better than good. It's just not the work that we're asking for here. Yes. Yep, that's what I mean by transfer. So there's a worry for stones coming loose then, so you don't have to do that correctly. Fall protection. Yeah. So, based on all that, I'm recommending to the board that we reject the low bidder because they don't meet the definition of a responsible bidder.
Stems from the state.
Yes, they,
Because of the requirements.
yes, we are of the same opinion.
Second, to reject the low bidder and elaborate, and also accepting the second bidder as a separate motion. Yeah.
To accept the second bid.
Second, to accept the second bid. Any further discussion, questions? Here's none.
Again,
Yeah.
the second bid, you know. You have it.
There was a significant difference between the two.
It was about $300,000. The grant covers either, so we're not gonna have to.
Difference between the two.
Yeah. Right, okay, so the environmental associates bid, one that you're accepting is $1,391,052.82. That was the second bidder. Yeah, the one that was rejected was $1,095,671.83. Yeah, right.
Second bidder get back. So.
We're all good when we get it back.
Any further questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of both accept the second bidder? Aye. Anyone opposed? That passes. Yeah, there.
Good question. Got it under control.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Culverts that were done. From the township. Yep. Or we're gonna do a very nice work.
Oh, good. Okay, good. They were, but sometimes they settle. All right, moving on. Next for me is a agreement that MnDOT has sent me. They're requesting us to approve a resolution and agreement for the detour on Highway 23. This is a County Road 8. I think the packet has a cover letter from them. and the agreement. Should have a copy of the resolution. This agreement, we were willing to pay us for maintenance and road licensing. Total payment of $27,550.29. A little bit of a longer agreement, but that's typically how they are. I've read it. Haven't seen anything in there I'm worried about. I'd recommend doing it because if we deny it, maybe we're on their own, people are gonna use our thing, right? We did nothing, so. One thing that did concern me was our County Road 25. I think with some Franklin Bridge, I think people are gonna be cutting across that regardless of the detour is, so I didn't express my concerns about that. We took traffic counts on it now. It is thinking that if it gets really bad with detour stuff, I do another challenge and I improved it and it went way up, but when I expressed my concerns, they threw in bid item for blading and for dust control, so. Well, that's my biggest fear about that project. I don't think we're taking care of it, so. But I have no concerns with this, guys. I'd recommend that you approve the agreement.
Their start date, projected start date for the highway project.
Not during the paving, but the bridge work, I think is August to November. Because of Shiner, but I wasn't convinced that the Shiner requirements would apply. Ditch, and I asked them to look into that and maybe reconsider doing the bridge a different time, like not during harvest, but I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but I have to do that.
One,
So. The bridge on the ditch, they are, I think, putting depth on it. Not a full replacement, but it's really in depth. Yes, yeah, yes. Right, upstream from the one they did on 75. And then, brought up, two parts of riprap kind of dammed up under that bridge. That we moved. Okay. Somebody had brought up to me that the riprap's kind of dammed up under that bridge. so
It is. Ditch committee has noticed that.
I asked
Yeah.
them, when they have this. Fix that up. Can't remember how they said it, but it's something like they're gonna try to do something about that.
Right, question, the moving second, we approved, as agreement. I'm all in favor, aye.
Next up for me. I would like to set a letting date, a good opening date for the 2024 construction project. I'd like to open bids on December 12th at 10:30 for that. You guys shut the guys off on gravel now. I told them to leave enough for if we have to get flooding in the spring, because we want to be able to fix the flooded roads, so. So that's about where we're at with that. We're out of maintenance gravel, I guess. I mean, keep frustrated.
And I don't remember many years, but, we fresh like 2 years worth. Instead of every refreshing every year. I would think, refreshing later on, a better price. Fresh 2 years worth. I can't speak for every year, but I like we were refreshing a couple of years worth.
I remember it. I didn't go back and look to confirm this. I felt like we crushed 2 years out of every 3 in the beginning.
Well, yeah, maybe it's that, but anyway, what I'm saying is, 2 years worth. And then, obviously, they don't have to, come in and out. Just thought, so
Yeah.
think about that.
We can, with this, if for whatever reason we're not exactly thrilled with the product, we can stop it there.
Right.
But I understand what you're saying, if you do a bigger quantity, then we'll probably get a little better price, but then you might be stuck with someone without
And
warranty.
then you don't run into like, oh, we're almost out, we gotta get. Right, what, up there to, I just remember all the floods of the years.
Yep.
Where you go through a lot of gravel.
Yeah, and I can expand on that a little bit too. We still have some screens left for flooding. Okay, so that's in addition. So I mean, I feel like we're sitting.
Got every reserve.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm not really looking at that for maintenance gravel. That's to me like emergency stuff too. So I feel like we're covered for a flood.
Walk a while and get out and add it to the contract. And I think this is the best option.
Happened a couple times. We haven't had it for whatever reason. I think once. Might have been late in the year and it was cold and it just wasn't working as well as it should have been before, but. So we usually add more, but not always. Next up, I'm requesting approval of an agreement and another resolution. For County Road 12 overlay. For those of you not familiar, County Road 12 is a paved road on the Pipestone Lyon County line. There's a little sliver way up in the corner where we actually have a boundary with Lyon County. It's east of Highway 23. And 6/10 of it ours and 4/10 of it is Lyon County's. It's ridiculous to me, but a project for 6/10 of a mile and then a project for 4/10 of a mile. With me, seems like better prices make common sense to work together and do this. Fortunately, Lyon County had done that in the past, so they had the template for me and sent me the Word file and I just updated the names and description, so. So we would do the work, we throw it in our plans, it'll minimal work, extra work for us, and they will reimburse us for that, so. To me, that's the way to do it. Yeah, it's prorated based on the miles or on the length of the project, so. Yep, in your packet, there should be an agreement and a resolution. I'd like, yeah, board action to approve both of those items. Next up then would be. I referenced earlier, the city of Holland is, we have a consultant there looking to. Apply for. Local road improvement. Give you a map in your packet showing the roads. That they're talking about, Main Street is ours, the rest of them belong to the city. But our roads would qualify for this too, they're trying to lump that all in there. To help us out too. But in order to apply for that, they need a resolution support from the county. Similar to what we've done for Edgerton and Pipestone. And I'd recommend doing this. Then with this project, I'd also like to try it a little different than the past. I think we should. I think there'd be a good way for us to hire that consultant to do our surfacing portion of it. 2010, we did a joint project where we all city did some work, county did some work, we both had a survey, we had to tie it all together. Huge pain, there's a lot of duplication of work. So I think that we should, whatever it would cost us to do it, we should just put that money on city consultant and then lump it all together. I think that's duplication work is all better. I'd at least like to try it. It's time. confirm that, so. That's why there's two other odd agreements in there. You saw, I think one City of Tracy and one Russell perhaps. Just to give you an idea of what an agreement could look like, kind of be similar to one of those two. Yeah, I think that's how we describe this project and.
Yeah. Make sure that everything correctly. Yeah.
Yep, and we're trying to coordinate with them too. Their big utility project, we're trying to coordinate our overlay up there. Require us delaying it a little bit, but it could really help them with prices that they're end up paying. You know, if it's a match, you have to do local levy on their stuff, what, you know, this. Correct.
Very not all in favor. Aye.
Next item for me would be a follow-up to, we were talking to you again a few weeks ago or something, asking to update that maintenance payment. So a short version is, we currently pay them $3,345 per mile, maintain some of the state aid miles within the city limits. And then after a discussion with MnDOT and the Road Bridge Committee and Utility Committee with the city of Pipestone, we feel that it's in order. Increase that payment to $5,345 per mile. So, let me just clarify that this request, you know, is kind of originated from the city of Pipestone, but you also pay the city of Edgerton, maintain segments for us, so if you update one, you have to update the other. 6.61 for the city of Pipestone and 1.0 for the city of Edgerton. Well, I think it's 1.0, it's Main Street and then Fourth, so I think they're a half mile each, so it's roughly a mile. I'd have to look up the exact number, but I think it's 1.0. No plowing, crack sealing, pothole repair. Yeah, they could use it for maintenance striping. I don't know why not, you know. I haven't looked it up to confirm that, but me, I wouldn't even second guess that. Oh, okay.
That's something
No. We've always striped those in the past. So like center line striping is what when I answered your question, that's what I had in mind, but, or excuse me. I had parking stalls in my mind. Like if they wanted to paint parking lines, they could use that money for that. The county's always done the center line program. The white double line. Yeah, then maybe they had to switch it. I just remember a while back, it was double line white. That's a long story. You got too many people that are turning right. That's why. That to do with that. I have to take out some notes, but I remember it was white.
That's probably seal coating. Or is that considered
No,
more than straight?
I think that's, if I recall, I think that's more than just. I think if they wanted to do it, they would have to submit a request to us. We have to make sure that. I think that's above and beyond. When I do, we'd like to bid out half a year's fuel again. Um, and looking at the calendar, second, fourth Tuesday in December would be the 12th, 26th. Seeing the 26th, I got a little bit worried the day after Christmas. I didn't know if the bidders would be able to get current prices then, but we reached out to them yesterday and markets are open that day, so they couldn't get numbers if we wanted to do it that day. Otherwise, I don't. I just wanted to make sure we could do it on the 26th if you wanted.
I guess I would consider going for the 26th, because typically every year the price of fuel seems to be the lowest around Christmas. It is.
And I'll second that. Quick question, discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Presume that'll be at 10:30.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Great, moving on, maintenance updates. Regular updates, we finished up spraying. Mowing should be done hopefully this week. Got some gravel last month. And then we've been getting trucks ready for snow plowing. They were ready to go at that last threat of the storm, but we didn't have the wings on. We want to use the wings anyway. And now we're getting next update I have, furnace and carpet cleaning. I think we've done the carpets months since I've been there. We're having some dust issues. So we reached out and got 2 estimates. The low estimate was from
Showmaker.
Okay, yeah, there we go. So I guess I'd like to see with that.
Need a motion.
I don't think we do.
No, it's regular maintenance. No.
Right, but I just thought, well,
Yeah.
you'll see a bill coming, but it's fun. If somebody had a problem with it, but
How old are the carpets in your office?
well, I've been there over my 17th year and I beat me there, so.
You can see my color now.
Yeah.
It might be time. Since they built it in the 80s. Yeah.
It's been a good carpet, but it
Might
should
be-
probably be done more often than how we're doing it. Like I said, this is the second time.
But it does get a lot of,
Oh,
I don't know the case, or not because it's from traffic.
True.
Travel.
We're in a really dusty environment. People may even want to look at doing this more often in the future, but
Maybe better going away from her.
my,
I don't know, that's up to you.
yeah, the only problem I have with that is a bad personal experience. My wife falling on a slick floor, it's snow.
Yeah.
I'm a little gun shy after seeing how that whole ordeal went.
I assume that you've already determined that car is part.
There's no tears or like heaves in it or anything, so I just blow myself and I just keep waiting until it starts peeling up or tearing or becoming a trip hazard. Then I think we should replace it, but until then,
I'm next to my thing about it. When your officer, you get all open up. That.
you're very well good now.
Different, and then all got opened up to the area.
That was all before me,
Okay, it might have.
so
Yeah, it was in 90.
It might have got replaced. Oh, yeah.
either way, it sounds like it's 99, we're almost a century old, so it's done well for us. But I plan on keeping it there until it becomes a trip hazard. I'd like to clean the vents there. It's,
Shot first is where we are. First shot.
we had a guy out there to get us an estimate of the price. That's budgeted for next year, so I hadn't planned on replacing them till springtime or sometime next summer, but. That's where that's at, that's the next year.
The Schumakers will be doing both your carpet and your furnace and your duct work. Perfect. Thank you.
Then the last item I have these dynamic speed signs in our cities, and we're starting, we have one that's requesting information off of it for chronic speeders or something. I'm not sure exactly. I know there is at least one chronic speeder, but you want the data off of it. And not opposed to doing this stuff when it works for us on like a one-time basis, but I don't want this to turn into like every week. They want us to run out there, pull this data off there, like our sign guys part-time. You know, if we're having a hard time keeping up with our signs the way it is, I don't want to really doing this. Not trying to sound cold and like I don't care about their issues, but it's like this can get really time consuming for us, so.
That's your data.
Yes.
We can't transfer, you have to go there and pull the card.
Well, maybe it's a login on a computer.
I think you, yeah. Cell phone or computer, I think, gotta be by it.
Okay, so like a Bluetooth connection or something, maybe. So I'd have no problem giving this login to like the city officials, and then they can pull this data whenever they want. But it's like, I don't really, I'm trying to sound cold, but it's really time consuming for us, so I prefer that we're not. They've contacted him too, I don't know. I just know he has been contacted about it, I don't. The depth of their conversation, but. You know, we put the sign up. So. Our involvement probably ends. You know, there or with us pulling the data all the time. Like I said, I'm fine doing it once in a while, but if this comes like every week, thing, like that's. You don't have the time to do. Right, our involvement would be that we have the ability to pull the data.
Well, but if you give it to one.
Well, yeah, I'm fine with them having it too, but it's. I just thought, well, they get upset with us and they come to the board, I want you to. I guess I'd like some direction, how involved should we be, do we need to make time for this, or do we just hand out the login?
Doesn't document rules.
I don't think so, I think.
No, it can't, there's no video.
There's many people there.
Yeah, it's just
People.
just cumulative data, isn't it?
So I understand it's just a matter of giving them the login information state for themselves. I don't see it.
I just get it to them.
Yeah, and we have a conversation with the sheriff's office. They want that login information.
Okay, so the highway department's involvement should just be giving out the login and possibly showing them how to use it once or something like that. but-
Yeah.
But not running out there all the time, like, okay, well, that's what I want to do.
Takes any specific action, I don't know.
No, I'm fine with that, it's just, like, if you don't like my answer, and one of the local commissioner, like, we know we've had this conversation. You know the direction that I.
Really want to get ambitious, they could put a video camera on top of the sign and then they could have their data. Sure. As long as it's their camera, they're paying for it. City traffic cams going.
All right, well, that's half of the paperwork, it's, everybody, I think that's the end for me, so.
Yeah, we need a new cop here, by the way. We wore it out. Just kidding. Not bad.
All right.
An update on new office.
Oh, yeah. Morning.
Copy is the unclaimed recycling grant application. We also received a copy. They're requesting $250,000 through the Greater Minnesota Recycling Grant. This is going to be a grant that Lyon County will basically coordinate for the Southwest counties. Our main focus is working with WasteWise. They're a federal organization that is charged with assisting businesses with recycling. By pursuing this grant, it's going to allow potentially to have WasteWise come into manufacturers and businesses throughout the Southwest, look at their energy and waste streams and determine where they can be more efficient as far as the energy or garbage recycling, or reduce basically. A portion of this, about half of those dollars, are intended to be pursued as grants back to the industries or the businesses so that they can implement practices that will be more efficient. So looking for a letter of support from the board so that we can just acknowledge that we're pursuing that grant application through the state. Any questions?
Where are the matching dollars coming from?
That would be our in-kind. Most of it would be local staff time that would be used coordinating the meetings or the scheduling of things with the businesses. So yeah, it will all be in-kind, my knowledge. Won't be any cash.
For approval. And just with one typo removed from the letter to BCA.
Is just the simple delegation agreement with MPCA for the feedlot work plan. The state wants us to have board acknowledgement that you've seen the work plan and agreed to the items that we've identified in the work plan. Most of them you can see they're a check mark that the state says this is what you'll do. Either you check it or you don't. It also talks about a 7% inspection rate requirement, or that we meet at least 7% inspection rates of our feedlots that we have in the county. It's pretty standard. Nothing new to my knowledge from previous years.
The grants are pretty much paid based on the fact that you're completing these items.
Correct. Yep. The grants that we received from the state for the feedlot program, which is around, I think it just went up, so we're in that 60 to 60,000 range. That is dependent on us meeting these minimum program requirements in the work plan. Correct. Don't have any other questions?
Building update?
Building update. We did add I don't know if you've been out there recently. I did go ahead and hire Doublebees to put an addition on for a parking slab, non-concrete off to the south. We found that horse trailers, when they pull in, don't have a lot of room to maneuver or get around. It was also a little bit difficult to get to that back door. It wasn't really accessible with that concrete there. So it just kind of squared it off to allow an additional 30 feet area for parking or other uses. So, and we're hoping, I believe Wayne is working on getting that container out of there as soon as we can get some highway guys to help move the stuff off of the fairgrounds. So that'll be gone before snow flies. Hopefully.
Container will be leaving next week of the 27th. they'll come pick it up. Said he's gonna haul whatever's left in there out to the fairgrounds. So that was a very good deal for us. It only really cost us $150 a month to store that stuff in there, and they brought it up, and they'll take it back. So the container worked very well.
Did not seed anything. I think that's all being planned to be done next spring. And we haven't done any landscaping around the building. So that's probably something that will be done in the future also. Right?
What's your thoughts, Steve, Kyle?
We'll get together and come up with a
Yeah,
date.
we have
Want to do it.
discussed it. I don't know. Yeah, now we're coming into winter. Yeah, I don't know if do you guys have a suggestion or recommendation or?
Getting into the 2 holiday seasons coming up, I'd recommend we probably wait too.
Right.
Okay, you guys are all organized and feeling good about being in there and everything's set up the way you want it to be
I
here.
ordered some tables yesterday, that I'm paying through Soil and Water for the conference room. We're also trying out some chairs, maybe possibly, new chairs in there. The ones that we have are still usable, but they're 25 years old, so.
Kind of thought about your thought process. Kyle's concept is to make that space more useful. You want to build out the tables.
Well, the tables that are in there, the big table is out in that trailer.
Yeah, but instead of putting that back in.
Right. Yeah. And right now we've got some from the fairgrounds just to meet the need of having a meeting. But we will planning just to get some folding tables right now. The ones that I was looking at were fairly small. They're about $500 a piece. Little beyond what we were expecting for pricing. So we're just kind of going simple, even though folding tables are still 300 plus a piece. They're not cheap.
Yeah, enough space to accommodate.
Yep, there is one spare office yet for Soil and Water. We're still planning to hire another technician, probably waiting towards spring for that to happen. So I just talked to the board this last week on that, so. Everything as far as I'm concerned is going well. We are looking at, we're getting some examples of a potential sign for the street facing side. We'll need to go through the city for a variance to have a sign out there because I believe the ordinance only allows something very small. So that would be something that we'll need to work on. And we're also looking at getting some stenciling on the front door window. Names and hours, things like that. Phone numbers. Yeah, I think the end result was very, very good, needed. I mean, the additions that were added, and even though it took longer, but. Okay, thanks.
Yes. Second here. Okay. First thing I have of personnel, Mr. Chairman, is request for county issued credit card for Alexis DeGroat in the assessor's office. Standard agreement for all employees to have that. Credit limit is $1,500. And Kathy put that together and requesting approval of the board for that today. County credit card for Alexis DeGroat, credit limit of $1,500. Second thing is I have one job description in here. Let's see. Actually, we're going to do two. We've got the lead dispatcher, administrative assistant, also a jailer dispatcher too. So it's requesting both of those job descriptions be approved. There was going to be one for EMS, but she does not have that one ready. So we'll have to do those at the next meeting. So Yes, they're doing some reworking and up in dispatch. They're doing a new lead dispatcher and also administrative assistant position. And this occurred after the resignation of the office assistant up there. Diane left. They decided to go ahead and use this time to reevaluate and how they're going to do their work up there, try to streamline different approaches. So actually have someone in the administrative assistant and also be a lead dispatcher, be able to do both jobs, try to bring those together. And also not exactly sure, she didn't tell me exactly what they changed in the jailer dispatcher position. So I'm sorry, I don't have exactly what changed the wording in there, but she can expand on that when she's back for the next meeting. She was home with a sick child today, unfortunately. So she's still ready for the board to approve those two job descriptions today, please. Together is fine.
And I will second. Job descriptions.
Thank you. And lastly, just a point of information, no action is taken on this. We're tentatively planning November 28th for annual employee recognition program at our next meeting. So just information only on that. So that would be on November 28th for years of service, that type of thing, plaques, pins, that type of thing. So just information on that, no action needed. That is the next item on other business.
It's just, they finally, got whatever done ahead of time to, get state funding to do their watershed planning. And since I've been involved with the two other watershed planning things in the past, and happens to be in my district.
From early conversations that we talked about the fact that the actual miles of watershed very.
Yeah, it's small. I mean, same area would be covered by area 2 and RCRCA. You know, it's just the Redwood River watershed portion by Roofing.
Chairman, we take a little break before we do committee reports. That'd be all right. We get up and stretch a little bit. You're ready.
We're back to the open session. We've gone through the items on the agenda, and I believe the only thing we got left at this point is our one report. So.
Sure. I went to District 8 land use. Pretty much spent a lot of time talking about the solid waste issues. On the 16th, we had both planned ops and the annual landfill meeting. On the 17th, at our special meeting regarding the levy. On the 19th, the Road and Bridge Committee met with the City of Pipestone, which we addressed that today. On the 24th, we had our hospital board meeting. On the 25th, Highway 23 Coalition, Patrick Wiedemann presented, and he's now in charge of all projects in Minnesota. He was at Court of Commerce for a number of years, and then prior to that, he was our district aid engineer. But he introduced Trang Chu, who's the gal that's replacing him at Court of Commerce. And on the 26th, we had our EMC District 8 meeting. There. On the 2nd, we had Area 2 and RCRCA annual meeting. Rita Weaver from Bowser presented on water quality and storage grant program. On the 8th, I have the MHA Trustee Council, and they announced that the winter conference will be January 11th and 12th at the Marriott Northwest in Brooklyn Park, where it's been in the past, and they have renovated all rooms and meeting rooms this year. So I didn't think it was bad before, but it must be really nice now. And the summer conference is July 10th through 12th, and it'll be at Breezy Point rather than Arrowwood. because of, yeah, Arrowwood just not refused. It's not having the means to spruce it up. On the 9th, I went to the Transportation Alliance annual meeting, a lot of good presentations on road funding and projects and whatnot. And yesterday we had our planned ops meeting and that's about it.
Yes. On the 17th at a safety committee meeting. 19th, road and bridge, which, we talked to when we met with the city of Pipestone. 23rd at CPP meeting, good news from there is, got all positions filled there. And went over their budget, and their, part of their budget is having money come back to each county here. Until counties are paid off, and then see how the cash is flowing, that might be a hopefully permanent picture when moving forward after that. So, other than that, I did attend all my commissioner meetings and PCDMC meetings. I did not go to the SRDC executive getaway. I'm about you and county state and the holiday for 2 days. So I might have been busier.
Thank you, Chris. So you're in there.
October. In October, yeah, that was fine with Cal for Alexandria. Mention this senior center here.
Great.
And water. 17. Six District 8 meeting in Wyndham. Over our meeting that we have. I do that. Viewing them isn't very easy either. Some of them kind of overlapped. One was the city, one of the police dog, which was in town. Limited one of those, right? The people do not want to work at the people center. Yeah. I gave was that all the other things were prevention and education. This was. Area, everybody. Some questions about the only 9 old written. A chance to. Yeah. Concrete. Different person. Nice. Great candidates.
Fourth. City council meeting, was able to be there that day, no, and that was the one, like, things came down, the presentation. So, right, fifth, then I was able to, I was thinking Doug for a deal, cover that, I had to go to Southwest Health and Human Services on the GNT, so we met with, go GNT. Also in the afternoon, that was how we was able to veterans memorial meeting as well too. That's their first book. Chosen the settlement location in this. Yeah, it was last week, right? Next, I had something like 18 now health consortium annually, that was in Redwood, and that's also discussed, finalized today as far as the funding for their order. Tuesday the 10th, was back up to Alex and for finalist quality control meeting in the afternoon. I serve on the quality control board. On the 16th, Luke and I had our plan ops meeting at the hospital in the morning, and in the afternoon I had a SMOC meeting. The candidate that we were very excited about had to withdraw very highly. We actually offered him the position. He had a death in his family, and it wasn't right for him to get it. So kind of like other things. I actually got another. I got two reasons lined up this afternoon. Really a very good call by candidate. So we'll get back on track. Part of the urgency of this is the interim executive director we've got right now for the ADP. He had told us when he started that he had to be done by the first December. He's retired. He's got a vacation plan. So trying to get this all. It's been a long, difficult way. So hopefully, at least two candidates that we can make a decision here shortly and we can get back on track. So we have some services in the morning, also have the finance. Sixth district 8 meeting for all 10. 30th, Monday the 30th, Dallas, you talked about grants. I'm on the search steering committee for the Minnesota Rural Energy Board and some of the weatherization grants and so forth. And we went through some projects there as well too, and tried to pick out some of those when you got a finite amount of money, got invited out, got more applications. And that concluded my meetings for month of October. Anything else, Steve?
Nope, just upcoming activities. Thanksgiving holiday will be on the 23rd, so we'll be closed on Thursday and Friday, the 24th, regular meeting on the 28th. So I'll have agenda items to me by the 22nd for the meeting. So I'll have your board packets ready in the afternoon of the 22nd. So.
For that rest of us show our support for it, or is that not please?
All you have to do is go to the annual
And
conference and vote on the last day.
Yeah,
There's now 4 people running so
Yep.
far, so. Yeah, it should be interesting.
is it a well-paying job or what?
No,
Podium though.
yeah, Rick from Lyon and Carla Bigham from Washington and Lisa Folby from Sherburne.
I thought she was the 5th candidate. She's the 4th candidate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And I'll be there, so. yeah, I will.
You bet. Likewise.
But yeah, it's a matter of who sticks around, because until the last day, because they always do the voting on the last day, and a certain number will have left already.
All right.
You know, it's just the way it works. And, you know, with that many candidates, it'll probably be, nobody will get a majority to begin with, and they'll have to keep dropping one and redoing it.
Well, good enough. We're gonna get a motion to adjourn. Oh, thank you, Dallas. Thank you, Chris. Move in second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Only be-